Good day, my friend, and welcome to this thing of ours. We have a lot to discuss. Oh my God, we have today's topic. He's back. Trump breaks from globalists and Fox News puppets, while real base roars. We're going to be talking about the latest that's going on. Your sense of confusion, which I understand, and I believe is warranted to an extent, because who in the hell could even follow any of this? Nothing is over with. Nothing for the life of me is over. I will tell you that I believe that before our very eyes, this incredible obeisance that Trump has had to the bellicose aspect of society has been changed, has been forever changed drastically. Because as we sit, things have moved and changed unbelievably so. There is a change. We'll be talking about Zoran the moron. That's right, Zoran Mandani. Zoran Kwame Uzakami Mandani. We're talking about who is our Soros, how we should have ZDS, my take, my responsibilities. This talk about the F word, Trump using the F word. I hope you received my email. I'll send another one out today in case you didn't. Intermittent fasting, why that makes sense. Atheist versus Muslim, the importance of flossing. Cauliflower ears. What did I write? I have no idea what I just wrote. I wrote something because my handwriting is apparently is that of a subtard level. So, my friends, I say to you, welcome. Thank you for joining us, being a part of this. Thank you for being a part of our event and our adventure this morning. It's 8 a.m. on the Eastern Coast. Thank you for being with us this morning from overnights on WABC from 1 to 5. We never stop. We never stop at all. There's no end to this. There's no end to the madness. But before we begin, this incredibly important word from our incredibly important sponsor. Copper inventories are scraping 15-year lows, just as Washington floats import tariffs. The U.S. growth machine runs on metal it barely controls. Every EV line, data center build, and power grid upgrade risks choking on supply gaps. Cost spike, project stall, investors eat the squeeze. Miss the window, and you're funding someone else's margin. Giant Mining Corp's Majuba Hill District in Nevada is built for this moment. 9,800 acres with highway, rail, power, gas, and fiber already on the claims. Recent core drilling sliced a 170-foot zone averaging 0.4% copper, crowned by a 10-foot streak at 4.4. Grades majors pay billions for. An AI-driven model just lit up new conductors, and independent engineers are already building resource estimates while rivals drown in red tape. Phase 2 rigs roll this quarter. Speed wins the super cycle, and Majuba is built for speed. Dig deeper at giantminingcorp.com, on the OTC at BFGFF in the U.S. and BFG in Canada. My friends, where do we even begin? Where do we begin? Let me tell you where we begin. We begin at the beginning. I think begin to begin. I think the great who was it? Benny Goodman saying that. I believe he's saying that. I don't know, or played that, I should say. My friends, where do we start? First and foremost, let me see if I can start off by a couple of things. Number one, I don't even know where to start regarding this nonsense involving this crazy talk as to Zoran the moron. There's a lot of people on the proverbial left and a lot of people who are, and this is important, a lot of people who are against, quote, Zionism. And they're against Israel. They are elated over this. They want to see this moron, Zoran, happy to see him run the show in our country and in my fair city because of their disdain, their dislike, their disagreement with Israel and the like. So I want you to think about that. I want you to think about all of that right now. Think about how that thing works. They hate these people so much. And this is important. They honestly, God, they cannot stand. This is important. They cannot stand the notion of, I guess, any kind of activity against either Gaza and the like. And by the way, they have a very good point. Don't get me wrong, they have a good point. But the part is, the thing which I find interesting is that they are so incredibly angry towards that they would actually want to see, and apparently are happy to see, I guess, my beloved city ruined. Is that it? That's the way these people work. That's the way these people work. So, in watching things like Mehdi Hassan, and who is it? A lot of folks who are, obviously, I understand that he's very happy because anybody, anywhere who can fight the mean and terrible and awful Zionists, they're happy with, even if it means standing up and supporting somebody who would basically destroy my city. You see how this thing works? Does that make any sense to you? Now, I think a lot of us would say, wait a minute, I kind of dig, I certainly dig your perspective. I dig what you're saying as to, the various goings on. I understand what you feel about Israel, and that's okay. But you want him? You're saying you want this guy? You really, is this what you're about? You got to ask yourself this question. Whose side am I on? Now, let me just say something right now, and I want people to understand. If this guy is even possible, this is Zoran the moron. If he is even possible as a candidate, that means he can handle anywhere. It's like you finding one bed bug. One bed bug means there are others. There are millions perhaps around here. So this is what the left is about, apparently. This is what they're about. They are so anti-Israel. And they love the fact that he's a Muslim. They love the fact that he apparently, they call him anti-Semitic. I don't know if that's true. But he is certainly against Israel. And when all of the candidates stood up, and the first thing each of them said, somebody asked the question, where is the first place you would travel? Which I found it very interesting. It's almost like a setup. This is Channel 4 set them up. They said, where would you travel upon, winning? Where would you? And they all said, with the exception of Zoran the moron, they said the first place they would travel was Israel. I'm thinking, what are you talking about? So because of that fact, he obviously made some points with lefties and with other folks too, because he certainly does not feel any type of fealty with Israel whatsoever, and that's an understatement. So because of that, they want him to be. This guy's going to be full-blown restorative justice, and it's not just him, it's who his handlers are. Let me also tell you something which I find interesting. Republicans are full o' shite. Republicans are full o' shite. You understand this? They are full. And the Republicans, instead of saying, maybe we have something to blame, even though I am going to be voting for Curtis Sliwa, a man I've known for 30 plus years. I know he's not going to win. Zoran, the moron, is going to win. And what do the Republicans do? Nothing. They complain. Oh, they go on Fox News and they call him a commie. He's not a commie. They don't fight back. They don't organize. They don't put anything up against the people involved. And when I say this, people get very upset. I don't know about your state, but in New York State and New York City, there are no Republicans. I've been to some Republican events, and what they do is they end up taking selfies and congratulating each other and giving each other awards. That's it. They're not serious about this. Now, understand a couple of things here. There is the left wing. There is the left wing, the progressives, the Democrats, whatever you want to call these folks. There are those people, but there are also these other folks called the shadow government. And the people that are behind Zoran the moron, those people, listen to me carefully, those people are incredible, and those people are important because they are, how do I say this? They are the shadow government who is promoted elsewhere. You see, they believe in doing everything and anything they can to destroy our society. The right couldn't take it, but the left would, because the left are without a basis. I have a friend of mine, Mrs. Ellen, and I have a friend. She is the loudest, most vociferous and vituperative of TDS lunatics you'll ever meet in your life. And I'm sure she's voting for Zoran because she believes he is some kind of a counterbalance to Trump. Can Slibo win if he ditches the red beret? No. He needs the red beret because he is famous for that. Everybody's got a gimmick. Could Trump win if he ditched the red hat? Maybe. But MAGA was his red hat, Christian. MAGA was his sentiment, so to speak. It's a gimmick, to be sure, but that's the way that is. And thank you for your kindness. So what they do is, the shadow government believes in destroying America first. There are two ways to do it. You can go at it through the Republican Party or the left. They pick the left. So as I said, if I sat my friend down and said, you're being held against your will, and you can walk out that door if you answer one question. Define your political beliefs without mentioning the word Trump. Define your beliefs. What you believe in. What your thoughts are. What your values are. Without mentioning Trump. She couldn't do it. And I would venture to say, you know people who are the same way. You could leave me, and I will tell you so many things of what I believe in and why. I will tell you this. And it has nothing to do, oftentimes, with the Republican Party. But they can't do this. And once you understand how this thing works, you'll be able to grasp the situation a lot better. It's that critical. That absolutely critical. You see, here is the thing which is the most important. We're not dealing with the words left. So when we say left, we'll say, is it Zoran? Well, maybe. You see, Zoran thinks he can do something. Zoran thinks that he can change everything. He can to an extent, but he needs Albany. He needs the state capital. But aside from that, there's something more involved in here. It's this young guy with the nice and welcoming smile. He's the nicest guy. Looks like it. He says things, he has a smile. Andrew Cuomo looked like Salazzo. He looked like he was horrid. He was one of the most horrifying looking things I've ever seen in my life. Really, seriously, he scares me. He scares people. Children, small children, animals. People were frightened by him. He has no sense of humor. He's a ghoul. He's weird. He's always been strange. And there's no way around it other than that. He drives a Dodge Charger. Nothing wrong with that. And he has speeding tickets. He drives a muscle car. All he needs is fuzzy dice hanging from the window. He's just weird. Remember, he was married to one of the Kennedys. He has 2 daughters. During the height of COVID, because he is a slave to, and he's owned by the hospital committee, the hospital lobby, they wanted him to move all of these COVID people out of hospitals and put them someplace. So he put them into nursing homes. And the reason why is that they wanted him to empty the hospitals of COVID people so they could make room for make more money. So he got rid of them and put them in nursing homes where people were killed. He killed old people. He killed the elderly. Any other questions you might have? He killed the elderly. He came up with no jail, no bail. He's just horrible. He has no sense of humor. He's ghoulish. He looks like a ghoul. And the reason why is not because we're not talking looks. We're talking the anger, the meanness. He's vindictive. Nobody likes him. I remember one time years ago, there was a difference between Don Imus and Howard Stern. And then, I don't know about now, but then nobody liked Imus. Imus was a prick. In radio, Don Imus. But people liked Howard Stern. They really did. A lot of people say, he's a good guy. I heard this all the time. But Imus, no, that's Cuomo. He's weird. He's weird. There's something that's so disgusting about men. Men who are little boys inside. By the way, I thought of something today. You want to hear my new idea? If you're somebody who wants to look tough and scare people away, but you don't want to gain weight, you don't want to get muscular, you don't want to go to the gym, you don't want to do any of that. But if you want to scare people, what's the best way to scare people? I'll tell you. Have a cauliflower ear. Have you ever seen this? When you see somebody with a cauliflower ear, you say, that son of a bitch, this guy will kill you. How do you get a cauliflower ear? Years of sparring. Head on a mat, headlocks. You build up this rough, this incredible, your ears turn bright red when you get done with wrestling, and it's the scar tissue grows, and they don't lance it the right way, they don't cut it, and you get that horrible cauliflower ear. So I was thinking, I think it'd be easy to have this very simple surgery where you could change your ears into cauliflower ears. And you could be the skinniest. Woody Allen with cauliflower ears would make people think, damn, don't mess with this guy. He's a killer. He's an absolute killer. So I have an idea that could be the next trend in medicine, to have cauliflower ear surgery. But there's something about this. When a man finds a young lady or a woman attractive, if that is your style, if you would like to be with said woman, and this is separate and distinct from whether you're married or not, but that's a different story. And you decide, rather than try to be nice to her, dare I say seduce her, by virtue of your position, your looks, your power, whatever it is. There are other people who say, no, I don't want to do that. Because that puts me on equal footing. That means that I have to try to risk being turned down, or I have to risk the ignominy and the shame of not being wanted immediately because I'm too good for that. No, some men, like he, will come after women and impose themselves against women, getting real close to them, touching them, making them feel scared. Because what they want, first of all, they realize they look like a ghoul. They have no personality, and they couldn't get lucky in a brothel with a credit card. Okay, it's over with. And rather than use their position of the governor of New York, do you know how many women would throw themselves at you if you're the governor of New York? They'll line. I don't care what you look like. But he doesn't want that. He wants to be in charge. He wants to see the look of terror in their faces. He wants to go up and harass women. I despise that. That's not a man. What are you doing? It says everything. It says everything about him. There is nothing about him and that stupid asshole brother of his, Chris, from that stupid News Nation with these stupid people. Don't you understand this? The whole family. And Mario Cuomo, the most overrated orator. Oh, he was such a stentorian orator. Give me a break. He was weird. I still don't know why he dropped out of the race at the last minute. Was he connected? Was he one of the boys? I have no idea. We've had this overrated group of people, and New York is filled with. So we've got him, the great orator, and his son, who speaks in a style nobody even understands. I've never heard anybody speak like this. I've never heard anybody. I don't know how. Where does he? What is it? I believe that when we make sausage, I don't get it. That's, of course, it's a terrible imitation, but it's what he sounds like to me. But this is New York for you. Who we pick afterward? A moron. Eric Adams is a moron. He's an oaf. He's a chidrulo. He's a semi-literate oaf. He was this guy they played, and they made him feel like he was such a smart. Oh, he was so great. They saw him coming. He said, "Oh, no, we like you, Eric. No, you're one of us." He didn't want him. We got a table at Rayo's. Really? Wow. Can you believe that? You're one of the big shots. You went to Rayo's. Oh, the other day, Leonardo DiCaprio was at Rayo's. Oh, come on. Huh? You have to be on? Yeah. Okay, sure. So let me just. So I could go on and on. But it's the Republicans' fault. It's the Republicans' fault. The Republicans who figure, well, we'll just go on Fox News. That's okay. And I love Curtis Lewa, but I mean, you're not gonna beat these people with Curtis. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. And there's something else which is important too. The folks, these. I try to explain to people something, and I recognize this. I think we all like Trump. I think he's great. I mean, he's not perfect, but sometimes it's that imperfection that I kind of sort of like. I like that in a way. I like the whole MAGA thing. I just like him. I like this. I like him. But there are people who look at him as though he is the worst, the most vile form of human being in the history of mankind. And I recognize this fact. Now, I don't care whether you agree with it or you like it or not. There are people who do this. So I understand this. And while they don't understand what we think, we don't understand what they think. There are Republicans who don't like Trump. And Trump, by the way, I must change to the second stage. I don't know if Trump understands that. He may not care, but I'm going to say, Mr. President, I don't know how to break this to you, sir, but everything you thought about the military and other campaign in Iran was absolutely wrong, sir. Do you understand? It's absolutely wrong. And I don't know how to make this clearer than what I'm saying right now. I don't know how to make things different. There was no destruction of the Iranian. What am I trying to say? There's no end to the Iranian problems in Qom or Arak or Esfahan, I should say. Esfahan, excuse me. Remember Remember years ago, in how do I say this? Let me see this. In Natanz. Natanz was the main uranium enrichment site. It was targeted so many times, 2009, 2010, it was targeted. Remember Stuxnet cyber attack? Remember when they damaged the centrifuges in July of 2020, the Mossad explosion, or massive explosion, I should say, in a centrifuge assembly hall. Iran blamed sabotage, likely Mossad. April of 2021, power outage. There was nothing there. And Fordo in the QOM province, I should say. This was a big one. This was built deep inside. They had already moved that. And Isfahan, they had moved that as well. And reports in 2022 and 2024 suggested air defense activity and unexplained explosions. So everybody's telling the president, sir, this is what Trump loves. Sir, there is nothing there. But Trump, like a petulant baby, like a little baby, says, no, we blew him up. We blew them up real good. And he also said that, and he made a reference to Nagasaki. It's like, what are you doing? Who tells him to refer to Nagasaki and Hiroshima? Dear God, how stupid it. Because it was his little war game. And somebody dared to say that his big bombs didn't go off the way he said they would. Do you know how sad that is? Do you agree with what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes, you do. Yes. So he gets Pete Hegseth yesterday. I couldn't believe this. They get Pete Hegseth and he comes out. He says, Pete, take it from here. And Pete says, how dare you people dare make fun or question our brave military. 36 hours they flew on relieving themselves in a bucket. They've got a restroom, thank God, and they've got a galley or something they're flying around in. I don't understand. It's always about me. How dare you question me? How dare you question me? We're not questioning you. We're questioning the truth. And I know this. And then I'm getting tired of Caroline Levitt. I'm getting tired of her. I'm telling you, I'm done with Cash, done with Dan. Pam Bondi's no. She appeared the other day and they get indignant that somebody questions Trump. They didn't even do this during Biden. They didn't say, how dare you question our supreme leader? No. And by the by, remember, when it comes to Biden, it'll be shown and will be shown that people know common knowledge that he was never in Washington the whole time. He was never in Washington the whole time. He was never in Washington. And the auto pen, we'll never get to the bottom of that. There's going to be no investigation because they don't think the way the Democrats do. The Democrats are vicious and brutal beyond anything you could ever imagine. They are so monumentally brutal. Do you hear what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? They are so brutal. Republicans don't have it. They're pussies. I hate to tell you this. They're all talk. They want to go on TV. They want to sit around and snipe and make fun and sit in the recesses and make fun of how people look or whatever. There's no... Not the Democrats, but the shadow government. They put boots on the ground. They go door to door. They really work. They work hard. They work harder than anything you can imagine. This is not a joke. This is not a joke. And this is the thing you have to understand. You have to grasp how this thing works. This is who we are. And unless and until something happens, and Sean Hannity never talks about, they never put any money for get out and vote. Have you ever seen this? Democrats do this. They do it like you can't believe. They are there on the ground, boots on the ground all the time. They are there. They are I'm telling you. I am telling you. I've never seen anything like this. These people make me sick. They make me sick because they're not real. They're not real. They don't know how to fight. Democrats are crazy, but the people running the show are the shadow government. They just picked the Democratic Party to use as a basis, as a foundation to propound their ideology. You see how that works? They use it as a means of propounding and promoting their ideology. Democrats don't do anything. They don't, And yet the people I know, oh, how can this be? This is the worst thing. We're warning you. Republicans never had anybody to run against him. Zoran comes along and he just spews this absolute nonsense. He's going to put free buses, free clothes. So yeah, you can, if you will say this, you can go ahead and you can say these things. By the by, I want to tell you something which, on a different notice, different aspect. There was a definite, absolute, and to me it's despicable. There are people who know nothing about Muslims, and they are as anti-Muslim. They hate people being anti-Semitic. But by the way, Muslims could be Semites, maybe, perhaps. But the things they say about Muslims are beyond horrible. Horrible. They don't know anything about Muslim, Shia, Sunnis, nothing. They are Islamophobes. 2 million, 2.5 million people. Some of the nicest, kindest people. Dave Chappelle and Ice Cube and Cat Stevens and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And a lot of people believe and see some particular beauty or wisdom in Islam. I'm not going to talk about the religion, but there are people who, especially those people who all of a sudden they clutch their pearls whenever somebody dares to even suggest that maybe there's something wrong with Judaism. I mean, they go berserk. They go berserk. I mean, crazy talk. And they don't know anything about Muslims. Nothing. And they're just as hateful and horrible and as filled with venom as they claim the others are. So it's ridiculous. But that's over there. The shadow government knows exactly what they're doing. And they're going to pour money in from all over the world. And they're going to tell Zoran, we want you to go full decrim when it comes to, we want you to have sex workers. We want you to let big tech. And by the by, if this really was smart, if Trump had his black bag division, as I have talked about, you would have thought he would have said, I'm going to go to people like Peter Thiel. I'm going to go to even Elon. Elon, by the way, nowhere to be found. Just took his ball and went home. Just done. He was there every single day next to Trump. He was with X. Is he still with X right now, his son? I don't know. I have no idea. You'll never know how many kids he has. You'll never truly understand because nobody knows. You'll never understand it. Never. But he's gone. And I would have bot farms set up. I would set up billions of dollars to flood the country, to flood the media with stories about families whose lives were cut short by these horrible immigrants, these illegal aliens who've destroyed this country, destroyed the safety and the countenance of our world. But they don't do anything. Instead, they want to go on Jesse Waters or now Miranda Devine's podcast. It's all they're talking about. They're worthless. I have nothing to do with these people. But going back to what I said, imagine sitting your friend. Oh, and listen to me. I want you to pledge. That you will have ZDS. Zoran derangement syndrome. The same way they had TDS. I want you to have Zoran derangement syndrome. And I want you to be in the position, I want you to tell all of your friends, I don't know you. I am not inviting you to any type of birthday parties, wedding celebrations, Christmas, Thanksgiving. If you voted Democrat or you voted for Zoran, we're going to return the favor. You got that? It's the most important thing for us to do. We've got to play in fire with fire, baby. I hope you can do that. I am. Going back to my friend, if I sat her in a room and said, tell me one thing you believe without mentioning Trump, she couldn't do it. She say something, maybe, reproductive. There's nothing. Trump has never said anything about reproductive anything. Trump has never said anything about reproductive. Do you understand that? Don't you understand this? It doesn't matter. He's never said anything. Never. The Dobbs case has nothing to do with making this illegal. Stop it. Stop this lunacy. They can't tell you so. They can't tell you. We believe in certain things. And the one thing that we believe in that the president very sadly is violating is this wonderful concept of called America first and no wars. America first, America only. By the way, a couple of side issues. I want to bring this up to your speed. Number one, there is when you're not eating right, when your eating schedule is off, it's horrible. And when you are eating correctly, or when you're eating the right amount, you're not eating too much, you just feel great. My perfect way of living is, I think, called that 18-6 intermittent fasting. Not even fasting. It's the way you should, the way I think I should live the rest of my life. You eat for 6 hours and that's it. And ever since I've been doing these overnights, the schedule's all screwed up. And I thought, well, I get up, eat later. So now I'm doing things. I finally got it down where I eat meal one about midnight, right around midnight, and the second one at 6. Actually, before that, 5 o'clock, and then that's it for the rest of the day. And I feel so monumentally better. I couldn't figure out what was going on. There was a sense of lethargy. Something was not right. That is it. So this is finally getting involved in this. I said, well, maybe I can, and I knew what I had to do. And if you've not tried that, I cannot, and it's not necessarily weight loss or whatever, but you would just, because through hormesis and others, we have to eat less. Number 2, I can't tell you enough the importance of flossing. However you want to do it, water, but I don't care. But getting in there and keeping your gums free from biofilm, tartar, and plaque. Actually, plaque first and then tartar. Because that inflammation via cytokines goes right to your heart. Next, I want to bring up something which I think is critical. Do yourself a favor, and I wish I had done this when people don't really know this, but at the age of 30 or so, I would have done a full lipid profile, really deep, along with LPA testing, to see LDL levels. I saw a video of some kid who says cholesterol means nothing. Eat meat. He just said this. I don't know who this kid was. Cholesterol means nothing. And the notion of plaque and unstable plaque in the lumen through atherosclerosis and the like. This can be prevented. So many things. So I'm going to tell you this much. You can think what you want. You can believe what you want. You can come up with whatever paleo, keto, whatever you want to do. Do yourself the biggest favor. At some particular point, find out especially a lot of cardiologists are doing it now, but somebody who understands really hardcore lipid studies, go after this. Because if you have LDLs right now and you're 30 years old and they're over 100, 150, 200, even more, you're going to have atherosclerosis, guaranteed. You don't need any kind of CT scan or any of that kind of. It's as absolute as you can imagine. And a lot of people, and yet, if you go on the internet, they're going to talk about turmeric. They're going to talk about methylene blue. They're going to be talking about mitochondria. I'm telling you, enough said. I'm not going to waste any time. Believe me, don't believe me. It is completely up to you. Totally. I don't care what anybody said. That is up to you. Trying to think what else is it. Oh, we are, I think, I hope, maybe making some progress. I want you to follow our great friends, and I can't say this enough. When somebody's doing something well, Judge Napolitano and his series of guests are just superb. Scott Ritter and others, they are so good. John Mearsheimer, so many people. And there is no reason for you or anybody else not to understand what's happening. There is no reason. And yet, it's so interesting. I don't understand what it is and why people refuse to grasp this. I talk to a lot of people theoretically on side, but they're in the Fox News group. And I ask them, and I say, what are you hearing? What are you listening to? What is it that you're listening to? What is it? Why do people around the world, for example, believe that President Trump's claims as to the destruction in Iran never took place? And they look at me like, what are you talking about? Because they have this belief system that anything Trump says must be believed, and they know of no other source. With all that is going on, they are provided some of the best resources for news and information, and they don't know anything about it. They know absolutely nothing about it. It's the most incredible thing in the world. So anyway, my friends, I want to thank you for that. Make sure you remember July the 19th at the Cutting Room in New York City. Yours truly storms the stage. Tickets are available. Look for the link. I want to join you and me and you and a dog named Boo. Traveling and living off the land is going to be incredible. That's number one. Number two, follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors. She's got a great video right now about Diddy. By the way, Diddy, they dropped a bunch of predicate acts yesterday as this thing is wrapping up. They're going to pound him with something. I don't know how they're going to teach him a lesson, because that was a great piece of distraction. All the other people in Hollywood have either been bought off or their silence purchased, because they said, you want to avoid being the next Diddy? Yeah, do the right thing. Oh, don't think that doesn't happen. Don't think, again, some shadow government liaison is not involved in this. And don't forget, follow me at Lionel Media online, and also, by the way, for the internet and all that jazz and X, and keeps being a part of Lionel Nation. And that's the most important part. And I want to thank you so much. And today our sole benefactor was Christian Janus. Christian, thank you, my friend. You were a good and a kind man. I appreciate that. I appreciate your thoughtfulness, and I appreciate your kindness as well. And I wish everybody a great and a noble day. I wish everybody nothing but peace and happiness and thrills and all of that stuff. You deserve it so much. We will see you later. I'll have some other videos later for you to follow. Please continue watching. Again, thank you so very much. You are so terrific, and I am so honored and pleased to be with you and for you to be on our side, on the good guy's side, and vice versa. I mean that. All right, my friends, have a great and a glorious day. See you later. Don't forget these final and fateful words. The monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Da-da.